And yes, you've already clicked on it, so you know which value is coming. I keep introducing it every time, forgetting that when you click on this value, then you already know. And this is the value of integrity. Another amazing value. See, reputation is what people think we are. Integrity is what we really are. And that's by my friend and mentor, John C. Maxwell. Now, it's very important. I mean, every value is important. But if we look around the world just now, when I talk about leadership is failing around the world because of a lack of values, I think this is one of them that's to me, in my mind, failing badly. And you know, we can always complain about the big leaders that we see, but I also say, but remember, we are all leaders, because leadership begins with self-leadership, and that begins with personal development. And that's why these values are so powerful, because leadership, your personal life, your business, and your social life is built on a solid foundation of values. And when it's not there, it'll crumble sooner or later. There is plenty of examples, and I know you know plenty of them as well. But Greek philosopher Socrates once said, the first key to greatness is to be in reality what we appear to be. See, but that talks into walk to walk and talk to talk. You've heard that, but that's really what it is. You know, we can't say one thing and do another, because whether you know it or not, people will know. Whether you think you'll get away with it, you might get away with it. See, you can fool many people, most of the people, some of the time, but you can't fool all of the people all of the time. And when people find out that your integrity is missing, see, it takes a long time to build that trust and integrity. It takes seconds to lose it. See, people have always struggled with wanting to appear better than they really are, for whatever reason. And today's technology and social media make it especially easy to craft an image for ourselves that makes us look good. I always said, you know, this is what it is. You can Photoshop it, but I mean, it is what it is. But you know, there are some people, when you look what they do to improve themselves, chemically, maybe even, you know, when they put on all this makeup, and that's not only about women, because I know men do it as well. But when they put all this stuff on, and when you see them without it, it is not exactly the same person on the outside. I don't say they're the same on the inside. And sometimes I get it that it gives them the confidence to do what they need to do. But I mean, it is one example where people pretend, they even talk themselves up to be more than they are. And, you know, if you want to be more than you are, I just did the value of excellence, become more excellent in what you do. You know, talk to the person in the mirror and say, how can I become better? Like, be the change you want to see. How can I become that change? How can I do more and have more because I want to be more? Then you need to actually work on yourself. I tell you every time, you know, to walk into your potential takes personal growth, personal development. Values, self-care, and the personal development on its own, they all become part of that whole a holistic ball that we need to roll forward in our life on a daily basis and act upon, because if we don't, because personal growth, self-care, building this foundation of values, it's an everyday thing, a daily thing, not a once in a blue moon thing, not a sometime thing. It's an everyday thing, and that's how you get success, because that's also an everyday thing. It has to be done intentionally, it has to be done consistently, it has to be done persistently. Some big words for me, but I mean, that is the truth about it, you know. So a life of pretending does not bring fulfillment. See, that gives you emptiness eventually, because when we act like one kind of person in one situation and like an entirely different person in another, we deceive ourselves and those around us. See, the need to keep up the pretenses causes stress and anxiety. Being deceptive hurts our self-respect and our credibility. Because, as I said, when people actually find out that you're not walking the walk, that you're just talking the talk, when we try to keep up these pretenses and sometimes you forget, and that's when people see, because people will see what you're really like in the most inopportune moments, if there is ever such a thing, and then they'll know. And then you wonder why people don't talk to you the same, why they don't behave the same around you anymore, or why they're not even around you anymore. Because they've seen you for the person you really are and they don't like it. They might have liked you the way you are if you just wear yourself. Be yourself, but be the best self you can be. You know, it doesn't matter what job you do, it doesn't matter how you are, the kind of person you are, but Strive to be the best. I said it in excellence. Strive for excellence in who you are and be the best you can be on a daily basis. That's all you need. You don't need to be better. You certainly don't need to be worse, because you deserve the best in life. We all do. You matter. Everyone matters. It's not about color, religion, creed, culture, age, gender, all this kind of stuff. No, every person matters, regardless of their beliefs, regardless of their opinion, regardless of anything, as long as we walk with integrity and do the best. See, calling each other names is not very integrous. It's not very honest, really, because people shout these kind of things because they've got no restraint, which is another value, and they're not listening, and maybe they need to ask for forgiveness. There's 3 values right off, and they don't show respect, another value. I mean, I can go on and on, but you get the picture that we need to work on all of our values, and integrity is so much more than the wonderful saying, you know, do what you need to do, what you have to do, even when nobody's watching. There is so much more to it. And it's so often understood, especially in communities versus the business side. That's a whole different story. And Artie talks about it in the diversity and inclusion training as well. Artie is my dear wife, of course. But it is better to value authenticity over appearance. It is better to have a heart to do the right thing, even if it's a struggle. It is better to confess our mistakes and ask forgiveness and try to return to doing what we know is right. See, we can all make mistakes, but there is always hope in a person who desires to live with integrity, even when he or she falls short. And we all do that every now and then. There is things that we shouldn't have done, that we did by mistake, that we said because we believed it was right. That's also honesty. If you absolutely believe something is right, you act in honesty. It didn't mean you're lying because it appeared not to be right afterwards. When you got more information, that it is so important to make informed decisions. Don't just follow one line and say, okay, that's right. No, how do you know? You need to, it doesn't matter if that's eventually what you believe, but you need to make informed decisions. But if you believe, like my Japanese, he passed away last year, unfortunately, but my late Japanese martial arts instructor, he always said, you know, when you believe you're right, you're right. When you fully believe you're right, you're absolutely right. Until something comes along that shows you that you actually weren't right, then you can say, you know, you need to ask for forgiveness and say, whoa, I'm wrong. I've done this as well. I'm wrong. But now I know better. And then you carry on. But it is very different than actually lying. If you lie, there is no integrity. Because you know it's a lie, but you keep doing it anyway. And well, I don't even want to go into that, what's happening around the world just now, but you get the message. See? But even when people fall short, and we all fall short sometime, there's nothing wrong with that. We fail, we make mistakes because we live. Well, at the moment, many people exist because we haven't got apparently the right to live our lives anymore. But you know, when we point the finger at other people that they should be more integritous, that they should live with integrity and lead with integrity. If they don't do, we can't change anything about that from within. But we can be the best we can be. We can live with these values. The person in the mirror, needs to live with integrity every day and improve on that as much as we can, whenever we can. See, striving for integrity also breeds trust. See, when you are honest with others and you're authentic, when you make mistakes, people trust you and they want to be around you. See, listen to that. When you're authentic, when you make mistakes, people trust you. And that is important, but they won't trust you if you lie about all of it. So, of course, there is 2 benefits of living a life of integrity, and one of them is you have self-respect because your conscience is clear, and that is important. I talk about it in the value of respect. Yeah, we need to always respect others. Artie says at a level of respect, everybody's equal. We need to respect others, but first and foremost, we need to respect ourselves. See. We always expect respect, but for that to happen, we need to give it first. Give and thou shalt receive. But before that, we need to respect ourselves enough, because that way our conscience is clear, and that's when we have integrity. I hope that makes sense. Yeah. Another benefit is that you will display alignment between your values, words, and actions. We're talking about the values again, but words and actions. See, See, because every bit of that begins with a thought. Our saying in our values-based leadership program is every value we do every week, thoughts become actions, actions become habits, and habits become your destiny. And what does your destiny look like? It begins with a thought. There's a whole program I can talk about, how we can change our results based on the way we change our thinking. So, because it makes sense, if everything begins with a thought, everything, then surely if we change our thoughts, we can change our thinking, we can change our results, we can change our destiny. But we can always improve. Integrity is yet another one. People say, yeah, but that person has got no integrity. Maybe you can't change what happened in the past, but you can change from today moving forward. See, some characteristics of a person with integrity is that their actions speak louder than words. They know that it's easier to declare that they are a person of integrity than it is to live it. See, it's easy to talk the talk and walk the walk, but they do that because their actions, their walk speaks louder than their talk. People always say, your actions speak so loud that I can't hear what you're saying. Well, that talks into that. A simple example is, you as a parent stand there at the door opening to your kids. Never start smoking because it's so bad for you. And then they start smoking, you wonder why it happened. No, you could tell them not to start smoking or drinking or whatever. And yet they do it anyway because they see what you do. And that's much more powerful. So walk the walk. That's part of your integrity. And start walking that walk. If you've got a certain talk and you know that you're not really walking that walk, you're doing this, when the path is there, then, just bring yourself back one step at a time. And these people are also fully aware that knowing your values precedes living them out. See, they realize that it is difficult, if not impossible, to be a person of integrity if you don't have a clear understanding of what you value. How powerful is that? That's another reason, people, that we do all these values. Because knowing your values precedes living them out. And we don't teach these values, by the way. I call it a reawakening of the awareness, because any values like I've already mentioned, like listening, respect, honesty, forgiveness, restraint, boundaries, hope, connection, persistence, excellence, empathy, compassion. We have heard about all these values, but do we really know what they mean? And that's what it talks into. If you really need to start understanding, and how better to understand them when you sit around the table with people and talk about them every week. And so you hear other people's perspectives, beliefs, and ideas about what the values mean to them. You get to know about them more because you learn about them, but also you get to know much more about these values. When I do the Facebook Lives on this, there's so many people who comment on this, and I learn from all the comments they make as well. And the Facebook Lives on the Key Leadership Institute page, by the way, all of them. But I've shortened them here. That's why I'm doing them again, because there they are at least half an hour, sometimes 30 to 40 minutes because of the interactions. But here, most of them are between 8 and 14 minutes. But then some steps to follow to more fully understand and implement integrity. And the first one is define your values. That's just what the person talked about. If you've never taken the time to articulate your values, do it now. Write down what is important to you and what you want to be known for. Then begin to assess your actions in relationship to those values. It's very important that you actually, when I know what do you value, and yes, you might value family. It's not one of the values I talk about, but that might be one of the things you value. You might value your laptop as something you value. That's all fine. But also the values, your intrinsic values. What do you really value? And most people haven't got an idea. But what are the kind of values? And there's near 50 here by the time I'm done. What kind of values are there? Maybe there's other ones outside that you will never compromise on. And I hope integrity, honesty, transparency are some of these kind of values you will never compromise on. And if you fall flat, sometimes get back on the horse and start taking steps again. And the second one is make things right with others. See, reclaiming your integrity begins with facing your flaws and apologizing for your failures and dealing with the consequences of your previous actions. See, you need to deal with the fact that you've done things wrong. And the value of forgiveness is in there as well, which you can ask for, but it talks about making things right, and the value of forgiveness comes into this. But create a list of people to whom you need to apologize for your actions and then follow through with sincere apologies. See, you can't change what's happened, but you can actually make things right. So that in integrity, define your values and make things right with others. That are two amazing steps that you can take. And I hope you got something out of this amazing value, like they all are. And I look forward to seeing you in the next value already. Have a wonderful day. Take care.